You are very welcome. Please can I invite you to address the chamber?
Thank you very much. Good evening. Assalamu alaikum. Lord Mayor, councillors, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for inviting me to speak to you today. And let me begin by wishing you all a Ramadan Mubarak, in this very holy month, blessed month of Ramadan. Allow me first, please, to convey the sincere greetings of Isa Qassis, the Mayor of Ramallah, who sends his regards and the greetings of the Palestinian leadership and people to you and your council and your great city. One of my first duties here as an ambassador was in effect signing the twinship agreement between Oxford and Ramallah in 2019. What an honor, what a moment was it. And few cities can be compatible as Oxford and Ramallah in every sense. Both are centers of academic excellence. Both draw peoples from across their respective countries and the world. Both are open and tolerant cities with vibrant cultures, innovative business environments, and long, long histories. Of course, the similarities go only so far. Ramallah is a city under military occupation, so is Palestine, and at no time has this occupation been more deadly or unhinged. Ramallah suffers daily incursions by the Israeli military and Israeli settlers, surrounded by checkpoints, its land being confiscated, and the city itself is bordered by Israeli military walls and checkpoints. Moreover, as we watch in horror, the carnage in Gaza, Ramallah is a city in mourning. The city, that is Ramallah, did not turn on the Christmas light last year. It has not turned on the Ramadan lights during this very season of the holy month of Ramadan. Genocide is no time for celebration. And make no mistake, my friends, about it. Genocide is what the Palestinian people in Gaza are facing. It is a full-fledged genocide. So Lord Mayor, councillors, you will by now be depressingly familiar with the numbers and what has been taking place. More than 100,000 dead or wounded. Most by far are women and children. 1.9 million people, 85% of Gaza's population displaced from their homes. 1.5 million people driven to the southernmost tip of Gaza at Rafah, the city of my birth. Forced to live in overcrowded shelters with no running water, no electricity, no food, and diseases are spreading. Imposed starvation of an entire population. Already 26 Palestinians have died from malnutrition. 26. 23 of them are children. International aid organizations are warning that 1 in 3 children under 2 years old in Gaza's north are suffering acute malnutrition. The wholesale destruction of Gaza's civilian infrastructure, from housing to hospitals, from schools and universities to mosques and the churches. And Israel has an obsession with hospitals. Only this morning they invaded the Shifa hospital in Gaza, which is the central hospital for all the people in the north, and reports of many casualties. People are being killed and many arrested. Mostly doctors, by the way, and medical staff. This was always a war on the Palestinian people from day one. And the only way to end it is to, once and for all, the only way to end this war is once and for all secure the liberation of the Palestinian people across all the occupied territory from Israel's oppression and occupation. This, of course, needs to start with an immediate ceasefire. As you, this very Honourable Council called for by this Council as far back as November. And we acknowledge and we salute your principled position early on to call for an immediate ceasefire. It demands, after a ceasefire, massive humanitarian assistance and reconstruction programs that will only be sustainable if there are no Israeli restrictions and no siege on Gaza. The siege on Gaza must end. It must be followed by a determined push by everyone interested in peace for a just solution. A just solution that will see Palestinian people secure our rights to freedom and self-determination in a state of our own. And the right of Palestinian refugees to return is also upheld. It may sound a hopeless enterprise right now, but it is not. It is not. In fact, we must seize this moment to spur us on, because we can reach a just solution. It demands nothing more and nothing less than a clear-eyed focus on delivering the outcome international law, international resolutions calls for. But in order to get there, Israel must be held accountable in a way that it has not been held accountable before. Israel must see that the world will no longer allow it to continue to get away with the many war crimes committed in Gaza or the many war crimes it has committed in the West Bank and all over Palestine. Never again applies to all of us, not the few of us. Never again we should see the mass murder of children. Never again we should see the mass destruction of homes and hospitals and schools. Never again we shall see the use of starvation and disease as weapons of war. And I'm sure many of you have followed the UN reports lately of the use of sexual violence as a weapon of war in Gaza and in the West Bank. So, city councils like Oxford's can help in this endeavour. The British government needs to turn its words into actions. And the best way to do so is to impose sanctions on settlements and suspend arms sales to Israel. When the International Court of Justice admits and rules that the crime of genocide, which is the crime of all crimes, brought by South Africa against Israel, is plausible, then the court, the highest court of the world, has officially put Israel on trial for genocide. Then exportation of arms become a complicit participation in the crime of genocide. And this is the real leverage if we want to stop this, is to stop sending them the weapons that end up in the bare bodies of our children, of our mothers, of our innocent people. That will provide accountability, my friends. So, ladies and gentlemen, the Palestine question did not start on the October 7th. It started 170 years ago with the Balfour Declaration of this very country. We remain more determined than ever to achieve liberation, to achieve our freedom, and to look forward to a just peace. And we do. We look forward to you, and we look to each and every one of you, and those like you, for support and moral clarity, to remind your government of its responsibilities under international law and under British law, under UK law. The road to peace, my friends, will be long and hard, we realize. But we will continue the long journey to freedom, as once Nelson Mandela said. We will continue this long journey undeterred. Undeterred. And the more people who walk with us, the more people who will walk with us, like you, and the millions in the UK, in Europe, in the US, and everywhere. The more people who will walk with us, the shorter the distance and the easier the task. So from the bottom of my heart, I thank you all for what you have done and will be doing. Thank you.